Hello, my name is Srinivasa Ravi. I am a research scientist for process development of drug substances. I have over 23 years of experience in this field. I am not only a researcher but also a software developer. Today, I am showing you an important Excel based application I recently developed for my pharma colleagues. The application is for preparation of CCs and RMCs. Let us see what are the inputs required for preparation of CCs and RMCs for our product. These are nothing but the inputs that chemicals or raw materials we are used for the product. After successful installation, Add in tab is added to the existing menu tab in Excel. When you click on this Add in tab, this PD data button will facilitate to enter this stage-wise experiment details in this Excel sheet. That is chemical name, molecular formula, molecular weight, quantity, unit of measurement, density and assay like this. The moles and mole equivalents or quantity equivalents are calculated by the application. If you want to calculate the quantity by the application, you can enter the mole equivalents or quantity equivalents as you require. The output details of the stage also entered in this same way. This copy button is used to copy this basic data we entered here into the Excel sheet. This update and delete buttons are used to edit or delete the input details entered in this list box. This new button is used to add any new entry in this list box. Like this, we add all stage 1 experiment details in this sheet 1 and stage 2 experiment details in sheet 2 and stage 3 experiment details in sheet 3 and so on. These raw materials and the CCs and RMCs sheet are added at the time we start this application. In application window, you may see this CCs and RMC button. This button is used to prepare stage-wise CCs and RMCs, whereas this button is used to prepare overall CCs and RMCs. Let us start with a single stage project, the preparation of ethyl acetate. When you click on this name text box, a dialog box will appear to input chemical details. For example, ethanol and molecular formula. To enter molecular formula, you can use this formula keyboard. The formula keyboard can facilitate to enter the molecular formula of ethanol, that is C2H5OH, like this. The molecular weight will be calculated by the application. The density of chemical can be entered from keyboard. For ethanol density, it is 0.789. When we press insert, these details will copy into our application. The quantity we need to enter here. The quantity I am entering 100 ml. When we enter this 100 ml, it automatically calculates moles and mole equivalents. Since it is the starting material, the mole equivalence is always 1. Now this data need to be updated or added to this list box. To update or add to this list box, we need to press this update button. To add another input in this list box, we need to press this new button. Now we can add second input chemical here by click on the name text box. After clicking on name text box, input dialog box will appear like this. Since we already entered ethanol, it shows in this list box, so that in any time we can select this chemical in our future use, so that we need not enter these details again. Now we enter the second chemical, acetic acid, and its molecular formula. And density, and then we will press the insert button. When we click over the quantity text box, the quantity of this chemical, it automatically calculates its value by taking the mole equivalents as 1. If you want to enter the mole equivalents as 1.2, you can enter it here, and it automatically calculates the quantity with respect to this 1.2 mole equivalents. To update these values in this list box as the second chemical, we press update button. Now I want to enter the third input, so I am pressing new button and clicking over name text box. The input dialog box appears to enter third chemical, that is sulfuric acid, and I am entering the formula and its density, and then I will press insert button. Here I want to enter the quantity with respect to quantity equivalents, that is 0.1 quantity equivalents. It automatically calculates the quantity as 10 ml. Now I update this in the list box by pressing update button. Now I want to enter fourth input chemical, so I am pressing the new button, and I will enter the new chemical in this input dialog box, that is activated charcoal. For this chemical, I don't know the formula and formula weight density, for example. So I am leaving these information here and just insert this chemical as name only. Since I don't have the molecular weight for this chemical, I need to enter the quantity with respect to quantity equivalents. So I am entering here as 0.05. Since it is solid, I am changing the UOM to grams. So it is 5 grams. Now I am updating this by pressing update button. Now I want to enter the stage output chemical. When I click in output name box, it appears output chemical entry dialog box like this. Here I am entering ethyl acetate and its formula and its density, and then I will press insert button. Here the quantity will be calculated with respect to the mole equivalence as 1 when I click on this quantity text box. If I want to enter the quantity as I got in my experiment, I can enter. Now the basic input for this stage experiment is completed. Now I copy these details into our Excel by clicking this copy button and close this application. Now we can add experiment number and date by inserting a row here like this. In raw materials sheet, all chemicals we have inputted earlier are added for our future usage. Now I want to add another experiment in this same stage by taking acetic acid as the starting material. Since all chemicals are available in the list, I just select the chemical as required and then insert it into our application to enter the details. So I selected acetic acid as the first chemical and then pressing this insert button. Now I enter the quantity as 100 and then press this update button to add into the list box. Like this, I enter all the chemicals as I required here. Now I have entered all chemicals here. Now I press the copy button to copy this experiment details into our Excel sheet. It copies this second experiment details on the top of the first experiment. Now I close this application and I add the experiment details, that is experiment number and date as earlier, by inserting a row like this. Now I need to prepare stage CCs and RMCs for this experiment. To do so, I need to retrieve all these experiment details into my application. For this, I need to place this cell pointer on the top of serial number column of experiment number 1. If I want to retrieve the second experiment details, I need to place this cell pointer on the top of that experiment 2 serial number column. Since I want to prepare for first experiment CCs, I am placing the cell pointer on the top of 1 and launching the PD data application. So the first experiment details are retrieved into my application so that I can prepare the CCs and RMCs by pressing this CCs and RMCs button in this application. After pressing these CCs and RMCs, it displays another dialog box to prepare the CCs and RMCs. So in this dialog box, all necessary details have been retrieved and this CC is already prepared. Now I need to enter the recovery percentage and cost per kg of each input chemical. If I recovered any chemical, for example solvents like chemicals I recovered, I can enter the recovery percentage. To enter these details, I need to select the input chemical first. So I am selecting this first chemical. Since I have not recovered any chemical, I enter the cost per kg for each input chemical. For ethanol, the cost per kg is 80 rupees. I entered and now update it to update in the list. Now the cost per kg of acetic acid is 70. I am updating it. And the cost per kg of sulfuric acid is 25. I am updating it. And the cost per kg of charcoal is 50 rupees. And I am updating it. After completing these cost per kg input details, it automatically calculates the stage output cost per kg as shown here. When I click on this copy button, the costing details of this experiment will copied to Excel sheet as shown here. Now I close this dialog box and then the application. If I want to add another experiment with the same scale of this first experiment except this activated charcoal, I delete this input by pressing the delete button. If I want to add another input entry I can add by pressing this new button. At this point of time, without this entry, I copy these details to the Excel by pressing the copy button. So another experiment is added on the top of this second experiment. For this also I add the experiment details by inserting a row here. Now I want to prepare the CCs and RMCs for this experiment. For this I retrieved all the data into my application by placing the cell pointer on the top of serial number column of experiment number 2. Now I click the CCs and RMC button to prepare the CCs for this experiment. Here I am selecting each input and entering the cost per kg details and then updating each input detail in the list. Like this I am completing the CCs and RMCs for experiment 2 as shown here. Now I want to prepare the stage CCs and RMCs for this experiment. So I retrieved all data into my application by placing the cell pointer at the right position and launched the application. Here in the CCs and RMCs dialog box I am entering the cost per kg details for each input, and finally I copy the details into the Excel sheet by pressing the copy button. I close this dialog box and then the application. For the preparation of overall CCs, I want to use this experiment details. So I am keeping this cell pointer on the top of this serial number 1. Now I am launching the overall CCs and RMCs application. Here I type the project name, that is ethyl acetate. So here I type the number of stages. Here I am selecting sheet 1 since it contains the experiment. After clicking add stage button, the stage details will be added for the preparation of CCs and RMCs. Here already it prepared stage CC and overall CC for us. Now we just need to copy these details to our Excel sheet. When we click the copy sheet, it adds the details into the CCs and RMCs sheet like this. Now we can prepare the consolidated CCs also by clicking this consolidated CCs, which are another format of CCs and RMCs. It doesn't contain the stage CCs, only overall CCs and RMCs will be prepared. This also we can copy into the same Excel sheet by clicking this copy button. Now we can close this application. So this is consolidated CCs and this is overall CCs. Congratulations! The preparation of CCs and RMCs for this project is completed. Since all this data we don't need to share to our bosses, we just select whatever required here and copy into another Excel file, and then we can share to our bosses, or you can format the CCs and RMCs statement like this and then forward to our bosses. Now I am showing another example for the preparation of CCs and RMCs for the project containing 3 stages. I already entered the basic input details of 3 stages in these 3 sheets. For the preparation of overall CCs and RMCs, first I need to complete the stage-wise CCs and RMCs for each stage. Here I completed each stage CCs and RMCs. Here I am using the stage 1 product in stage 2 as the starting material and the stage 2 product in stage 3 as the starting material for the preparation of this final product. To prepare the overall CCs and RMCs from these 3 stages, I need to place the cell pointer on the top of the first serial number of the experiment in each stage. So I placed the cell pointer on the top of the serial number 1 of each experiment in all stages. This is most important point that you have to keep in your mind. Now I launch the overall CCs and RMCs application for the preparation of CCs and RMCs. Here I type the project name, and after completing this project name, I type the number of stages as before. So here the number of stages is 3, and first I need to add the first stage, that is sheet 1. So I select this sheet 1 for the adding first stage and then press the add stage button. After pressing this add stage button, the first stage will be added from sheet 1 like this. It already prepared the stage CCs and overall CCs. Next, stage 2 I am selecting and then adding the stage 2. So after adding this stage 2, it will prepare the combined overall CCs for stage 2 and stage 1 as shown here. Another point you have to keep in your mind is these CCs are in kgs. The preparation of 1 kg of this product needs this much amounts of input materials in kgs. Now I am adding the final stage from stage 3. So I am selecting stage 3 and then I will press add stage button to add this stage 3. So congratulations, it prepared the complete overall CCs and RMCs. Now I copy this to copy into the Excel sheet by pressing this copy button. I already copied and formatted the overall CCs and consolidated CCs also. So the consolidated CCs are prepared after completing the overall CCs and RMCs by clicking the consolidated CCs button. So it will appear like this. Here you can observe the main difference between the consolidated CCs and overall CCs. If you observe in overall CCs, the sulfuric acid is used 2 times in stage 2 and stage 3. So in the preparation of the consolidated CCs, these 2 entries will be combined and shows as a single entry. Like this, all the repeated entries in the overall CCs are combined as a single entry in the consolidated CCs. Isn't it simple? Yes, it is very simple to prepare the CCs of any number of stages in your project, and you can confidently share these statements to your bosses without mistakes. Thank you.